I am a teen female. My sister is 2 years younger. She has jet black hair, and if you know about hair, you would know that it's very hard to bleach and even harder to do it right. My sister wanted to get platinum blonde hair, and she decided to do it by herself, and it did not go well. She ended up completely frying her hair and it fell out, and she's left with chunks of hair ranging from about an inch long to like 6 inches long. My mom took her to the salon to try to do something to it, and they decided that the only thing they could really do was to give my sister a blank canvas, so they gave her a buzz cut. She was hysterical about it and cried for many hours after. The next morning, my mom came into my room to wake me up at 8, and she asked me if I would be willing to also buzz my hair off because my sister said that my hair was affecting her. I have very long hair and it would take literally like 5 years to grow back. So I said I wasn't willing to do that. So I offered to tie my hair up and wear beanies when around her or something, but that I was not going to cut it off. That sent my sister into another crying fest. I'm starting to doubt my choice, but I really do not want to cut my hair. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your mom should have shut that down instantly. It's awful she even entertained the idea of asking you to cut your hair. Mom should offer to cut her own hair instead. Your sister needs to deal with the consequences of her actions. She decided to go from jet black to platinum blonde without any experience. It's a lesson she must learn. Sis feels bad about the consequences of her mistake. She's young, so this is a disaster in her world, but she has no right to demand that OP suffer for something she did. All OP is doing is existing with unfried hair. If Mom goes along with it, she'll be ruining the sister's social, moral compass, and she will ruin her relationship with OP. Not the idiot. If your sister broke her arm doing something stupid, would your mom wake you up holding a hammer and ask you to break yours as well? Ridiculous parenting. How? This is the question you ask. How is someone else's hair affecting you? Are the neighbors? Her schoolmates? The cat? Will you run around buzzing the entire neighborhood until the 14-year-old feels better? Or do you teach her how to actually take a hit from a stupid action and move on from it? Exactly. Inflicting any kind of forced suffering or destruction of anything to make someone else feel better is sadistic and cruel. Mum could have taken little sis to a salon in the first place. Mum could have asked the hairdressers to preserve some length instead of leaving little sis nearly bald. Mum could have handled the emotional fallout instead of trying to offload it on OP. No, don't touch your hair unless it's something you want to do for yourself. It won't bring her hair back. Instead, help her find a good wig online and learn to wear it. You should not have to suffer because of your sister's issue. Absolutely not the idiot for keeping your hair. The entitlement of her and your mother expecting you to shave your head too. You matter just as much as your sister does. I'm so angry for you that she even asked this of you. Also, I would be cautious that one of them doesn't try something while you're asleep. My wife, 26, and I, 27 male, are both big gamers. We actually met through playing a game together online, and it's important to us. We're expecting a baby boy in October, and we couldn't be happier. This will be the first child for all of us and the first grandchild nibbling on both sides of our families, so they're pretty excited to meet him too. Here's where the problem comes in. My wife and I were both greatly moved by the story of Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2. We consider him one of the best fictional characters of all time. I've been playing video games for a long time, and his story is the only one to ever make me cry. It was my wife who suggested that we use Arthur Morgan as the first and middle name for our son. Not only would we be paying tribute to our favourite character, but there's nothing wrong or weird about the names, other than Arthur is a little old-fashioned now, but it isn't as if we're naming him Sonic the Hedgehog or Donkey Kong. My mother had a brother that died when I was about a year old, so I don't have any memories of him. She's been pressuring us to name our son after him. There's nothing wrong with his name either, it's pretty common, think something like Robert John. It's just not what we wish to name our sprout. My older brother let it slip to my mother that the name we chose was from a video game character, and she completely flipped out. She actually drove 30 minutes to our house so she could bang on our door and berate us in person for honouring someone who doesn't actually exist over her flesh and blood sibling. I understand that she still misses my uncle, but while this may be her grandchild, he is still first and foremost our son, and we already think of him as Arthur. That's going to be his name, no matter how she feels about it. When we tried gently, and then firmly, to advise her that we respected her position, but that we weren't going to budge on ours, she walked out. She told us that she would have nothing to do with our son and would never acknowledge him as family. Am I the idiot for not making my mother happy and just giving her a freebie on this? I've actually always had an excellent relationship with her, and it would hurt badly not to have her in my life or my son's life. My wife says that as parents we will have to learn to advocate for ourselves because people are always going to be telling us that we've done something wrong and disagree with our parenting decisions. Not the idiot. As long as the names are passable as normal names, I don't see why not. I wouldn't think twice about a kid named Arthur Morgan. On the other hand, if you named him Solid Snake would be a weird choice for him. It's clearly a girl's name. Not the idiot. I was prepared to hear some weird name that your poor kid would be saddled with, but Arthur and Morgan are classic names. Your wife is right. You do need to stand your ground. Your mother is using emotional blackmail and she cannot be rewarded for that. I hope she realizes she's overreacting and will come around once she sees her grandchild. Not the idiot. You get to name your own child. If your mother wants to sulk about it and be super butthurt enough to disown you, then she picked an unworthy hill to die on. Your child, you and your spouse's choice. That simple. Sounds like it's time to go low contact or no contact. No pregnancy updates, birthday or milestone invites, no photos, nothing. Give her what she said she wants until she proves it isn't. Wishing the best for you and your new family. You are not the idiot. I, 26 female, and fiancé Harry, 26, generally are alright with his brother, 27 male, and his wife, sister-in-law, 28. Harry and I are an interracial international couple. We lived in the same city as brother-in-law and sister-in-law, but we moved in with his parents about 3 hours away due to global issue. We both work part-time in addition to doing our masters and pay rent and bills here. Ever since first meeting sister-in-law, she's always been passive-aggressive towards me. She used to say things like, "Do you think having mixed children is wrong? Why do you have gay friends when you're Christian?" She's religious and anti-LGBTQ, but I personally think religion should be personal. "Don't you people eat dogs?" etc. Brother-in-law has not said anything as explicitly as sister-in-law, but he does make snide comments about me wanting the equivalent of a green card. We don't live in the US and live off my wealthy Asian parents, and that I can just ask my dad to buy me things. I always stand up for myself, but brother-in-law and sister-in-law's responses are usually that she was joking and I'm too sensitive. Maybe I'm misunderstood because English isn't my first language. Harry always defends me, but brother-in-law will then complain to their mother and twist things to say that they were joking, I'm overly sensitive, or falsely accusing me of saying things to upset sister-in-law. Brother-in-law is a massive mama's boy and calls his and Harry's mom every day. He also always asks her to solve problems for him, e.g. when he and sister-in-law got into an argument, she didn't want to do his laundry, so he made his mom drive 3 hours to do it for him. Sister-in-law is very entitled, an only child, and is used to getting things her way. Sister-in-law is currently pregnant. There was recently a family barbecue with Harry's family. During it, brother-in-law and sister-in-law started making comments to Harry and me, saying things like we're leeching off of Harry's parents, and am I sad there's no dog meat? Then brother-in-law said I should just ask my dad to buy a place for us because aren't all Asians rich anyway? They kept going on until I just physically walked away. I didn't want to make a scene. I went to a corner with Harry, upset, and said something like, "They're just idiots, and at least I don't run to my mom and dad every time I have something to complain about." I genuinely didn't know that brother-in-law and sister-in-law had followed us from behind and overheard what I said. Sister-in-law made a big deal about it and burst into tears, calling me mean. Brother-in-law yelled at me for making his pregnant wife cry and told his parents. That's why she, me, doesn't belong in the family. So the barbecue ended on a really awkward note. They also told her family and friends, who weren't at the barbecue, and they're calling me an idiot. We explained our side of the story to Harry's parents, but things are a little awkward as brother-in-law still calls every day and demands I apologise to them. No one has asked me to, but I think that it might ease things if I did. Despite this, I'm still upset and can't shake off their words since 1. I did call them idiots and immature, and 2. I made a pregnant woman cry. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your brother-in-law and sister-in-law are toxic people. You shouldn't feel bad for becoming frustrated when you've been a target of their harassment for a continuous period. I'm sorry that the family doesn't seem to understand that your actions react to their actions. Not the idiot. It's a classic strategy. Toxic people say horrible things, say they were joking, call you overly sensitive, wait for you to react to their crap, and then cry victim when you do. This is a manipulation. You have been more than patient with their behavior, and they needed to be called out, although Harry's family should have done that a long time ago. You deserve basic human respect. Don't feel bad about this. These people are being disgusting. Not the idiot. OP, no, you didn't call them names. You called them out for what they are, and good for you. And no, you did not make a pregnant woman cry. A pregnant woman cried because she was correctly called out for being nasty. I hope it all works out for you, but understand that this will become so toxic and untamable that you will not be able to deal with it. And, in the future, you may be bringing your children into the picture. How do you think your children will be treated? And worse, be compared every day with sister-in-law's children. I shudder at the thought. Good luck, and go no contact. For context, my wife and I are both 38. We've been married for 10 years and together for 13 years. About 3 years ago, my wife noticed she had a few grey hairs, so her hairstylist dyed my wife's hair blonde and put some huge highlights in it. My wife says the big highlights hide the greys from her fresh, not dyed roots where it grows. She also had her hairstylist cut it, give her bangs and cut the hair around her face shorter because it would hide wrinkles. I never noticed my wife having wrinkles, but she said she did. The new hairstyle was a big change because her hair was a bit longer, black, and she didn't have any bangs or short parts. Personally, I think the blonde doesn't look right on her at all. The highlights aren't natural, and if I were her, I wouldn't have bangs. But she likes it, and it makes her more confident, so if she's happy, it's enough for me. My question comes about because my wife's best friend is getting a divorce, and it's not a pleasant one. She goes to the same place as my wife to get her hair done. She told my wife her ex-husband said she wasn't as hot as when they got married and made many general insults about her looks and hair. After this happened, my wife started asking me if I'm still attracted to her. I said yes. She asked if I liked her hair. I said it makes her happy, so I do. But she kept asking me if I liked it. I don't know why it started after 3 years, and the questions about her looks and her hair kept going, especially after she had a virtual book club and wine night with her friends. She kept asking me, and my answer was always the same. One night, she asked me to swear on our daughter's life, which was ridiculous for something so minor, but since she wouldn't stop, I admitted I preferred her old hair color and style without layering or bangs. Still, I also said if it makes her happy, it's enough for me, and a different hairstyle isn't going to change my attraction to her. She is upset with me over that answer. She has called me an idiot to my face. She told her friends I insulted her hair, which I did not. She even asked me if I would prefer her sister now because she has black hair but does not dye it or cut it like my wife. I don't know where that came from. Her sister is gay and lives in another country. She's perfectly nice, but that's it. I've never thought of her like that. Should I have lied when my wife asked me to swear on our daughter's life about her hair? Am I wrong for not understanding why hiding grey hair is so important for women? Am I the idiot for saying I preferred her old hair when she kept asking me? And should I apologise? If I was truly wrong, I would apologise for the misunderstanding. I do love my wife, and I hate that she's mad at me over hair. Not the idiot. Dude, your wife asked you to swear on your daughter's life. Over hair? That's not okay. Furthermore, you've been exceptionally supportive. What this sounds like is her friends pushing their insecurities onto her. She kept pushing. You graciously answered. To be honest, she's lucky you seem like a very calm individual. After being called an idiot to my face like that for literally no reason, I'd have basically told her that I wouldn't be speaking to her until an apology. She's a grown woman. She needs to not act like a petulant child. Not the idiot. Your wife is tilting at windmills. You are not her best friend's loser husband, but unfortunately it sounds like this negative mindset has come entirely from her friends and is being projected onto you. This is going to turn into a vicious cycle. Her friends filled her head with negativity about men losing attraction to older women's looks, and so your wife became paranoid and pressured you with a foregone conclusion until she got a negative statement from you. She then went back to her friends saying you insulted her hair. Her friends almost certainly then joined in calling you an idiot and insinuated further negative things about you. And so it will all escalate. Your wife needs to realize where this is all really coming from. She is projecting something that has nothing to do with you, which is not fair. It's very destructive to your relationship. She owes you an apology, but this isn't the main point. If she continues down this road, she will end up causing great harm to the marriage. Having catastrophized the situation in her mind, taking the comment she dragged out of you about her hair and fitting it like a misplaced jigsaw puzzle piece into a picture of idiot husbands her friends have built up in their venting sessions. To cut a long story short, my brother married a woman I knew from school. She was known as the mean girl, treated everyone like that. Her mom had the same reputation, and everyone said it was learned behavior that started because their family was wealthy. She made junior and senior year of high school a nightmare for me and most of my friends with her attitude, not helped by teachers letting her get away with it. I didn't see her for years, and my brother met her in a coffee shop. They hit it off, and it was a surprise when she turned out to be his girlfriend. It was also awkward. I don't like her. She's changed some, but she still has a streak of it in her, better than she was. They got married last year, and it hit my brother that she has no friends of her own. She had her family there, her mom is still the biggest idiot ever, but no friends. And so he asked if I would include her with my friends. He knows I have a solid group of friends and was hoping they would be her friends too. But none of my friends are on board, and honestly, neither am I. So I told him no. There was fallout from this. My brother is angry and we haven't had a great relationship in months. He thinks it's cruel to not try when I know she has no friends, that it's childish to dislike her over the past, and that my friends are a group of idiots for not being willing to try. I told him not everyone wants to be friends with the mean girl who made life awful at any point in their life, that sometimes civil is the best you can muster and that I've always been that. It's breaking our parents' heart because he's insisting we can't be close again unless I make more of an effort. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Homie, your brother sounds like he's being her dad, setting up friendships with a sibling's friend group after marriage. Weird. Why not his friends? My wife can't make friends, let's not explore why not, so why can't you be her friend? Is an absolutely bizarre hill to die on for OP's brother. Not the idiot. There's a reason she has no friends. Your brother married the school bully and wonders why no one wants her around. She is your sister-in-law now and you'll have to include her in family events, but with your friends, no. Has your brother told his wife to try, to apologize? Why is it the bullied ones are supposed to try harder than the bully? Not the idiot. It would be nice if you all gave her a shot since it's been so long since high school. Since, given that she hasn't completely grown out of those old habits, your husband should be able to accept you guys' declining offer with grace. Instead, he's allowing it to fissure your relationship as siblings and hurt your parents. He needs to grow a spine. Everybody wants to spin the story that every mean girl is a troubled soul who just needs to be loved and accepted. Don't get me wrong, there are absolutely some kids where this is the case, and love and acceptance go a long way. However, most mean girl types are just flat-out idiots who enjoy making others miserable. I hate the whole take that the real victim needs to rise above and extend an olive branch to those that hurt them. Screw that. Forgiving, if one so chooses, and moving on with your life does not obligate you to foster a relationship with those who mistreated you.